Well, as I mentioned, we will be ramping up our response to the new legislation. We have already been enforcing the new legislation. However, we're going to be ramping that up following the New Year's holiday, and we're going to be strictly enforcing all of the offences that are in that new piece of legislation. The law is very clear, the way it's written, that any use of handheld mobile phone or other handheld devices whilst driving is an offence, and we will be ticketing for all those offences.
So does that mean that a hands-free unit is okay?
The legislation as is written doesn't cover the use of hands-free devices. It's specific about using the mobile phones. There's no mention of hands-free devices in that, and we have taken legal advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions, and we will be enforcing the law as it's written.
Have people begun to be ticketed as yet?
Yes, they have.
Any idea on how many numbers?
No, I don't have that information to hand, I'm sorry.
Okay. Where it concerns bike riders, bikes that are riding along with wearing headphones, so not necessarily handling the unit, but wearing headphones, is that against the law?
Again, the legislation doesn't speak to headphones, it just speaks to the use of the handheld device whilst riding or driving.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I had one question. Are there going to be random breath checks over the New Year's holiday?
The law as it stands doesn't account for random breath tests. However, we will still continue to do the checks for impaired driving the way we have done in the past.
Tomorrow night, tomorrow night, what's tonight? Is it tonight in St. George? They got a party down at, they call it a roadblock party. And word is that police will be out in full force by Molly Bay conducting a large roadblock. What exactly are you going to be looking for?
As you say, rumour has it that we'll be doing certain things. Our response to large gatherings at any time of year is to robustly police both the gathering itself and the people coming to and fro from those events to make sure that they're not carrying anything prohibited in the way of weapons. As you're aware, we have legislation that covers that under Section 315 of the Criminal Code that allows us to stop vehicles in anticipation of violence. And obviously, where we're aware of large events, we will be policing those events. I cannot say whether we will be having large roadblocks. We don't actually do roadblocks per se. We have road checks where we'll pull certain vehicles over, as is per the legislation. We will be out this whole weekend. Specifically on the 31st, however, starting tonight, we will be out in large numbers and will have a highly visible, proactive response.